Alright, looks like everything appears to be in some kind of order. So let's get cracking. And with that little sound test out of the way, I appear to be live. So hello, welcome everybody. If you're unfamiliar with this format, I will be drawing some live caricatures, amazing live caricatures, and these are them. This is the list. This is the official Caricature Resolution 2026, and there's a bunch of celebrity faces, famous people, usually actors, musicians, and whatnot. Hello, Anna. How's it going? Previously I did Boris Karloff, Mayim Bialik, Lawrence Fishburne, Jodie Foster, Harrison Ford, and McKenna Grace. Those are the first six, so I'm gonna just jump right in and start drawing the rest of them. So yeah, feel free to check these out. These are the ones I drew previously. Some of them I think I captured the likeness. Some of them I'm not sure if I quite like Lawrence Fishburne. I think needs a little bit more work. Harrison Ford kind of looks a bit wonky, but yeah, I think I was able to kind of capture the other ones. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to shrink these. Get rid of that one. I'm going to shrink these down a little bit. And move these a little bit closer to each other. So it's kind of been threatening to rain all day, and finally it arrives. So I'm really super happy about that. A bit of relief from such an absolute stinker of a day. So moving right along, we got Tommy Lee Jones. So let's see if I can't dig up the photos I was actually going to use as reference. While I'm here, I'll just chuck on some music too. Kind of a funky smell. So Tommy Lee Jones, he kind of has sort of small, very stern eyes. He has the face of a man who's seen a lot of pain. But also had an amazing career. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I was kind of first introduced to Tommy Lee Jones when he played Two-Face in the Batman Forever. And I like that. I like that movie. You know, it's it has a lot of Jim Carrey in it. Some might argue a little too much Jim Carrey. He always looks very, like Tommy Lee Jones for some reason has a very good resting, disappointed dad face. This is the last official episode of Sketch Jamuary for 2026. Sort of something I decided to really lean into this year. his nose pointing in the wrong direction. Get it more facing towards this side of the camera. So who's next on the list? Bette Midler. That is a great face. She's been around since forever, basically. Gorgeous, talented lady. So I find with the older celebrities, you know, there's a bit of a disconnect. Because, yeah, Catherine O'Hara died. And it's weird when you have a, like one of the great boomer actors just sort of randomly pass away. Almost out of the blue. But like she was admittedly looking kind of frail. Like I remember watching her in that Beetlejuice movie and just thinking, yeah. She looks like a lot older than her actual age would suggest. You know when you see somebody who's like, you know, they're just not doing so hot. They're not doing particularly well. Like age does catch up to us all eventually in one form or another, but man, like I have fond memories of watching the original Home Alone. Where she plays the mother. And like seeing Macaulay Culkin sort of return to the world of acting is pretty cool. Like he was, going through a whole bunch of awful stuff for a while there. And now he's settled down and he's a dad and I like to flip these. Oh, hey. Hey, how's it going again? Yes, I'm definitely hearing it myself where I am. It's a nice reprieve from the absolute stinker of a day we had. It's way too hot. One of those days where you can just tell that the humidity is always going to bring rain, but for some reason it just doesn't bring the kind of like relief rain that you need. You might get like a little bit of a storm, but that's it. Anyway, moving right along. Hang on, is it that middle with one D or two Ds? Oh my god, yeah. It's honestly like that kind of oppressive heat. Like I'll be traveling to the tropics in a couple of months, and I know that sort of like oppressive, like feels like there's a dog breathing in your face kind of heat, and just to experience that here, it just not fun. Yeah, it is one day. Cool, I got it right. Midler. Who's next? Billy D. Williams. And how old are these actors? Far out. Like everyone kind of remembers these guys when they were, in their 30s and stuff, when they were doing, far out. Billy D. Williams, 88. Oh my god. He's still going. He's been married 3 times, this guy. His first wife he married in 1959, and he got divorced like 4 years later. Then he got married again in 1968, and that marriage didn't last at all. And now he's with a Japanese woman who he's been with since 1972. So it seems to have all worked out for him. Like, I've always been fascinated by just people that get married like more than once. Like, I'm kind of, you know, I'm also fascinated by people that get married at all. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, you actually met somebody who you wanted to marry. That just, yeah, boggles my mind. This list, I'm not entirely sure who picked this list. I think it's chosen by the ISCA. These guys are the US based caricaturists. Even I struggle to say it sometimes. The Caricaturist Association. So I've been a member with those guys for a bit over a decade now. Who's next? I'm talking too much, that's right. Billy D. Williams. I'm stalling for time, and I should be stalling for time. Yeah, he's still going. This guy, it's amazing to see. You know, people of like, that old. Still doing amazing things, It's like when I was a kid, like 88, that was old. You ever sort of meet someone who's like elderly, but then you see somebody like what's his name, Dick Van Dyke, who recently turned he recently turned 100. And he's still up and he's still dancing and he still smiles all the time. It's amazing to watch, It's really fascinating to see, just how having a positive attitude can absolutely make make the aging process better. So how was your work day? If you don't mind me asking. I ended up just napping through most of... Hey there, how's it going? Yeah, you know it's hot when you've had more than you know it's like hot when you have to have more than one nap just to get through the heat of the day. Like I had one nap and I thought, you know what, that was refreshing and everything, but I think I need a second one. Fortunately, I didn't have that many pressing engagements. I sort of got all that out of the way. I am drawing a series of famous people at the moment. though. I might end up drawing this guy a little bit younger than he actually is, because the thing about, when you get old and stuff, you kind of stop looking like yourself. It's hard to explain. Like, people have this sort of frozen image of you as a young person when you were in your prime. Particularly if you're a movie star, and they don't want to picture you as an old person. But everyone ages. And if you sort of stop looking like yourself, like you used to, then yeah, guys like Billy D. Williams, who is oh my God, emergency department, far out. Yes, this is one of Tommy Lee Jones, and this is Bette Midler, Mia Bialik, uh, Harrison Ford, which I think I might have to redraw because I've made him look a little bit too goofy. Jodie Foster, McKenna, what's her name, and Boris Karloff. Oh my God, yeah, like seriously, the emergency department. That's something. I'm always fascinated by the kind of horror stories people who work in hospitals tell me, because I work live out in like festivals and stuff like that, and every now and then like I'll have couples that'll come sit for me, and she'll be like a nurse and stuff, or like there'll be two what are they called, the people that work on the ambulances, the paramedics, and the stuff they tell me about the things that they've seen, like just traumatic. Thank you very much. And particularly over the holiday season, like, good gravy. Yeah, I mean, she was telling me about stuff that she'd seen on X-rays. Like, she holds it up against that the light board and stuff, and yeah, just the amount of things that people who get a little bit bored or a bit lonely end up doing, and just the kind of uh, just I mean, the stuff that I've seen and they told me about, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't know. Please, please, please stop telling me. Oh, but at the same time, I'm fascinated because they will just like, without missing a beat and with a completely straight face, they will just say, yeah, look, some people just, yeah, they get a little bit too into Christmas, for instance. Oh yeah, and just who's next? Juno Temple. Juno Temple. Hang on. Isn't that a great name, Billy D. Williams? It dances, you know when you meet somebody who has a it's like a almost a rhyming name, like and it dances when you say it, like Billy D. Williams. It sounds official but playful at the same time. That's kind of how stage names work, Like Tom Cruise, that's not his real name. His real name is Tom, but um, his surname is Mapother. It's not Cruise. But he's been known as Tom Cruise for so long that, yeah. I'll draw this girl here. Juno Temple. That's an interesting looking lass. A bit on the skinny side. Oh, look, when it comes to like nailing a likeness, there is, and I hate to burst anyone's preconceptions about hard work and whatnot, but realistically, there's a certain amount of luck involved. Like sometimes you can really just you can sort of if you can picture something in your mind and then project it onto the page or whatever you're drawing on, then that gives it a certain strength and a certain like power that just straight copying it doesn't really achieve. But at the same time, the short answer is practice. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I started doing caricatures more as a I started doing these as a hobby. Like I'd always be sort of drawing just to kill time and stuff. And eventually it got to the point where, got to the point where yeah, other people started to notice. I got asked to work live at some parties. So my first live job, I went to a Christmas party, and this was back in 2004. So nearly 22 years ago. And I was that when you're confident, but it's mostly the kind of confidence that comes with the Dunning-Kruger effect. You know what I mean? Like you have a relatively strong grasp on what you think you know what you're doing, but when you actually put it into practice, you're not as good as you thought, especially in hindsight. Like that's a bit how I got started. Like, because that's the beauty of caricature is like sometimes if the drawing kind of sucks or is not particularly well executed, that can give it a set that can actually make it funnier. Like when you see when couples who clearly don't have any measurable drawing talent, sit across from each other and they like draw a portrait of each other, like it's like that. Like it's actually more entertaining if the person is terrible at it. See, that's the interesting thing about being a caricaturist too. Like, you know, if you're real, like, the people in the middle, I think, are the worst at it. So you're either really good and everyone finds it amazing at what you do, or you're really terrible and people find it hilarious. But then there's all those folks in the middle that do this, and they are their heart's in the right place, but the level of talent just isn't there. So yeah, I feel sorry for those guys. I've actually worked with quite a few of them over the years, but they still manage to get work. They still manage to have a pretty amazing life. Because it is like you end up getting paid to go to parties, which is so much fun. Like I've gone to so many weddings where I didn't know anybody, and yeah, like the bride or the groom or somebody who's like is the wedding planner reached out to me and says, "Hey, we need somebody who can draw live at this wedding reception. Would you be available?" I'm like, "Tell me where it is and I'll let you know." And like one of the weddings I did was out in Dubbo. So anyone who's familiar with country New South Wales, Dubbo is about a 5 hour drive from Sydney, depending on where you are. And yeah, the groom was so happy that he was able to find somebody that could not only draw live at his wedding, but also make the drive out to it. Yeah, he paid for everything. He put me up in a hotel and made sure that I got a meal and everything like that. Great guy, and seriously, like I was just so impressed by how like professional the whole thing was. And again, like I mentioned earlier about the whole wedding thing. Oh, Matthew Perry, far out. Poor guy. God, he had a great face. So many demons, this guy. Oh, look, I mean, I think terrible is kind of a. I wouldn't say it's like a bad thing, particularly in this line of work. Like I mentioned earlier, like if you're like um, not particularly confident as an artist, that is kind of a magic formula for being a caricaturist. It's difficult to explain, but like you ever like you ever like dare your friend to draw you, and they draw you like really crazy. Like it's like that. So anyway, let's draw Matt Perry. So he was in that. He was in a movie with Chris Farley, who also had substance problems. like if you want to see a non-Friends related Matthew Perry um, acting role. I can't. What's the name of the movie? Let me check. What's the name of that movie? And what's his name? Chris Farley. Yeah. So the movie's called Almost Heroes. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. After you've obviously, watched the live stream that I'm doing, go and check out Almost Heroes. It's about colonial, the colonial United States back when it was, during revolutionary times and whatnot. And yeah, that's a funny movie. Yeah, to anyone who's familiar with it, I won't spoil it, but I think the best scene in it is the campfire story. Yeah, Matt Perry had the best hair. You ever look at someone who has like really, really good hair? And just think, man. I kind of miss that. Like I don't miss hair, like having hair as much as I thought I would. It's like when it first starts happening, you just think, I should be fine. I've still got plenty of hair to go. I'll be able to weather this particular storm of my body turning against me. Because in a way, I think every man understands to a certain degree that male pattern baldness is as close to a form of body horror that you survive with pretty much no other symptoms except for the fact that you have to swap out shampoo for sunscreen. It was really sad seeing him on the Friends reunion show. And he was not looking well at all. This is I think only maybe a year before they found him. He was unfortunately, no, I cannot. These are all celebrity faces that I'm drawing tonight. Unfortunately, no. No, I can't. Getting some feedback. Just bear with me for a minute. Oh, that's what that is. Trying to figure out where this sound's coming from, and I just realized that my computer's actually overheating. That's crazy. But yeah, I was always a Seinfeld fan. I never really got into Friends at all. Like, it just seemed really unrealistic to me. I was more in the like the idea of you know, just a bunch of barely functional losers that all sort of yeah, it's a little bit crazy out there, but look, it's kind of cool. I must admit, like I wasn't expecting the chat to be this fired up. But I appreciate, like, you know, the fact that I may need to start doing some moderation pretty soon. Kind of stepping out of the anonymity part of being a YouTuber and into something a bit more professional, as the case may be. So that's some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we've got one more to do, and guess who it is? It's it's Rosie O'Donnell. Hang on. Let's see. That's right, Juno Temple. Matthew Perry. Yeah, so this will be the final face that I draw tonight. I'm doing these in, like, you know, 6-person, I guess, like, lots at this point, because yeah, I want to be able to, like, sort of populate the whole thing with, like, a really cool, like sketch jam wall. And it's interesting drawing a caricature of somebody who's recently passed away who had such a profound effect on other people. Like, and the fact that he could almost have been saved, but he couldn't be saved. It's very bittersweet because like he was struggling with it for so long, and you know once the show had ended, that was it. You know. Now let's have a look. Hey there, how's it going? Rosie O'Donnell. Let's see if I can find some. There's a tortured person. Like she doesn't so much smile as she grits her teeth. She's just like just this frozen look of clenched disdain. I am, yes, I am drawing some famous people, famous faces. I mean, this list is getting a little bit on the rough side. You know, the last person I'm drawing is Rosie O'Donnell of all people, and yeah, she's a bit of a rough customer. She kind of looks a bit like what if Dwight Schrute from The Office was like a really bitter old grandma. Like, if anyone's sort of in that millennial age bracket like myself, you may remember what Rosie O'Donnell used to be like when she was a younger woman. It's like, you know, she was in movies like A League of Their Own and the Flintstones movie. She's got a very distinctive mouth. Game. I'm not playing a game. Now, what you're hearing in the background, that's just like ambient. Oh yeah, like uh, what's another movie that she was in? She was in a bunch of movies back in like the '90s and stuff, and she had her own talk show, and you know she used to be like a stand-up comic and stuff like that, and yeah, slowly but surely she kind of found herself more and more unemployable. Oh God, I've made it look so angry. So a great way of doing sort of character design and you know sort of coming up with ideas for how certain cartoon characters are going to look in like animated series and stuff is quite often they are based on real people like caricatures. Like it really is the same skill set. Yeah, so A League of Their Own was a. When did that come out? Let me have a look. I'll just do a quick IMDb. Let's have a look. League of Their Own. 1992. So it had Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, Laurie Petty, Rosie O'Donnell, and Madonna. Good gravy. Like, you look at all the actors that featured in this movie, right? You look at them back then, back in like 1992, and you look at them now, and it's just like far out. That whole yes, from the Flintstones. She played Betty in the Flintstones, and like young Rosie O'Donnell before she got a bit crazy for herself. Like she kind of had something there. Like she wasn't conventionally attractive, but she could at least like she could at least look the part. Like they did pretty good with the hair and makeup, when it came to making her look like Betty. And like what else? Um, and the thing about the movies that came out back then that were like live action adaptations of um, like old cartoon shows and stuff, like they were in every way possible like what we're getting now. But I digress. She looks like a monster compared to the other ones. But anyway, that'll do it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed the last episode of Sketch Jamuary for 2026. Don't worry, I'll be back doing this again in February. It's like the whole reason for the name Sketch Jamuary is because Sketch Jam, it just makes sense to call it that. And man, we have had a crazy month. Like, there has been so much going on. Wonderful as always. Carolina, thanks again for stopping by and checking out the drawing session. I'll reduce her head down a little bit so she's not quite so imposing. But yeah, thank you very much. I'll just get these other ones up and just move Rosie over. Yeah. Oh. Don't want to make her too small. She's got kind of a wide head. But yeah, anyway guys, once again, absolutely amazing turnout. So blessed to have you guys tune in and watch. I will be back obviously next month, which is like tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be sort of back to my normal schedule and everything like that. And there'll be a few announcements. Obviously, I won't be doing quite as many. But yeah, I'll keep you guys notified, just like in the comments, not comments, in the community section if you want to check that out. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you when I see you. See ya.